but that doesn't stay up.
All right, welcome back. I don't know if you remember Gary. We've had him in a video about ITechWorld's portable battery thing that we did a while ago. And also Gary's been on heaps of trips with us. You've probably seen they used to tow the use the X Trail to tow the old 1978 Viscount, which sadly came to a bit of an end just recently.
No more.
No more. We won't talk about that. But we do have their new vehicle as well, which is a Pajero Sport Exceed. And I've got to say, that's a really cool car. I really like it. The seats in it are so comfortable. Like, that just puts the Land Cruiser to shame. Anyway, we're not here to talk about the Pajero Sport today. Gary's come down this weekend so that we can do some work on their new accommodation.
Yeah.
What have you bought yourself, Gary?
An Opus OP4 Camper trailer.
Yes.
Inflatable camper trailer.
Inflatable. That's a 2019.
2019, yeah.
So one of the OP4 Opus campers. It had some AGMs in it, and like every camper that you buy secondhand, the batteries were screwed. So we decided we're just going to do a lithium upgrade, and that's what we're going to do today. And we're also going to be using ITechWorld stuff. No affiliation or anything, of course. It's just that it was good. The last iTech thing was really good. I was really impressed with it, and you know, it's reasonably priced. So nice and easy and simple. So let's get to it. Let's have a look what we got. We've got ourselves two 120 amp hour iTech 120X lithium batteries. And we've also got ourselves an ITechWorld 40 amp charger. The charger in here would actually charge the batteries. It's a projector, but it's one of the basic ones. It's not one of the smart charger things. Two issues with this. One, it's a 21 amp, which, you know, that's going to take a really long time to charge, you know, over 200 amp hours of battery. It'll do the job. The ITechWorld batteries have their own BMS, so they will actually charge off this, but it's not going to be as efficient, and it's not going to be quite as good for the battery. So putting in a proper lithium compatible charger just seemed like the way to go when you're spending, you know, a couple of grand on lithium batteries. Thankfully, this particular camper has already had an upgraded BCDC Red Arc charger for the solar and car charging, so that is going to already be compatible, so we didn't have to get another one of those. Now the batteries are in here. Yuck, AGM, awful. So hopefully the ITechWorlds are going to fit, right?
Yeah.
What if they don't?
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I think we're going to be okay. This should be pretty simple. We're just going to remove this fella here, and we've already got the power point there, so this is all straightforward, and that should just be a bit of a swapsies game, really. All right, I guess the first thing that we're going to do is see if these are going to fit, and in order to do that, we're going to have to remove the old ones, aren't we? So that's what we need to do. We need to get some tools. I guess we will isolate whatever that goes to. Probably should have looked into this a little bit more, but I haven't. And we'll take these negative terminals off. First of all these washers and doodads. Wow, that's a lot of wiring. Okay, just sort of plastered all over the place. You know, you'd think with Opus being so fancy that they'd put some kind of distribution block or fuse box or something. It's kind of a bit haphazard, isn't it, really? Just bolt it all together and hope for the best. Okay, so the battery's disconnected. I guess we'll take these off. At least this is done nicely. Look at this, they've put this in as an afterthought, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that battery out.
Take it off the wall, eh?
Might have to. Yeah. Well, that was smart, whoever did that. Dicks. pretty heavy duty piece of equipment that you need 4 screws in there, definite. Alright, let's try that again. Heavy AGM. Bye-bye.
Really easy. Whew. Just lift straight out.
What have we got going on in here? Oh, that must be airlines. Yeah, right. At least like lithiums aren't going to be so hard to put in. Weight to it. Nowhere near what the AGM was, but at least you know it's got some battery in there. Although, seen those ones with the Chinese batteries and they just put rocks in there and little tiny battery.
Hopefully we didn't get them.
Hopefully not. Well, I don't think we're going to have any problem fitting these in place.
Yeah.
Are these going to be the same size thread? Looks like it. Don't want the plastic in there, that might not work very well. Beautiful. Best thing is that when we put this back on, it's not going to foul on these new batteries. Alrighty, let's get to it. This person must have known that we're going to put lithium batteries in here sometime. Yeah, that's why they did it like that.
Forward thinking.
Yeah, it wasn't just being a complete ignoramus. Gary, I have a headache for some reason. I don't even know why.
Thirsty?
I had so much last night. There's no possible way for me to be thirsty. So we always put the positives on first, and the negatives at the end, and that's so that when you're tightening up your positive terminals, if you accidentally touch something metallic, not such a big deal in here, it's all wood, but if it was in an engine bay, for example, if you touch something metallic, you're going to weld your spanner to the car as it shorts out. But because it's not connected to the earth at the moment, this battery is not going to do anything unless I touch that one. But yeah, so that's why you always do the positive first when you're putting it back on, and you always take the earth off first when you're taking them out. I mean, come on, Opus. A fuse block. It's not that much to ask, surely. This is ridiculous. You know what, Gary, before I finish doing all of this, we should put the charger in.
Right.
Because one of these wires here somewhere is going to be the charger. And we're going to need to put the wires for the new charger on here as well. So buttoning all this up nice and neat is kind of pointless when we haven't actually got the charger in yet.
Well, that doesn't stay up. I'll put this cushion over here.
Yeah.
I should hold it up.
So we need to, I guess, determine where these cables, oh look at that, amazing, where they go to. So we should be able to pull these through. Look at these. Bloody 240 volt electrical connectors. I don't know if that's an Opus thing or whether that's someone been in here doing stuff themselves, but oh goodness gracious me. satisfying. Oh, that's handy. That's good. Looks like it's going to work straight up. Okay. Oh, that's nice too. IEC. Wow. It looked a lot bigger in the box. This is right up your alley here, Gary. No computer screens, no buttons. It's got on, off.
Oh, it's a bit complicated for me.
So the reason why I decided to go with the 40 amp, even though it's quite a lot more expensive than the, I think it was a 25 or a 20 amp or something. Hopefully they're not going to need a lot of 240 volt charging. But if you do run low and you want to borrow someone's generator, I know it's a swear word, but it happens. You don't want to be running the generator for 16 hours to charge your batteries. Even at 40 amps, if you've got over 200 amp hours of batteries, you're still going to need to run that generator for 4 or 5 hours to get that fully charged up. But the reality is you're probably going to be, you know, only putting 100 amps or maybe 150 amps at worst in. So the 40 amp charger is going to help speed that process up. So say for example it was a 45-degree day and I decided to run my generator on the caravan for a little while just to get the aircon going. These guys could plug in and top up their batteries in the time I was running the aircon. So that's why we've gone the 40 amp. Should be good. Let's bolt her up. Out with the old. In with the new. I don't like these screws. These screws have got no head on them. It's too small. It's not holding the charger in, and also they're just a weird size. Gonna get something better. Well, I got these screws just out of the toolbox. Got nice big heads on them, so it's got something to grip onto. Despite my protesting, Gary is insisting that it's dehydration. Anyway, he's hooked me up. So we'll see if he's right anyway. Hazy?
Yeah. Balter. Oh. If Balter want to send any beers. Yeah. Free advertising.
Yeah. The only problem with a beer sponsor is they'd look at us and go, if that's what the beer does to them, then nobody's going to want to buy that stuff. Yeah, something tells me I probably should have plugged this in before I mounted it, because now I can't work out how it goes in. Only 4 possible ways. There it is. Okay. Well, somehow we've ended up with some spares, which is normal, but we're also somehow missing a nut. So I don't know how that's happened. That's alright, we'll just have to find another one. Okay. Done. It's hot in here. Don't look too closely. This bloody boot keeps falling off. There we go. Alright. I reckon that's good as gold. Now, you should go test your solder out.
Yep.
Go unplug the 240 and plug in the solder and we'll see what happens.
Nice.
You do have your good ITechWorld one, don't you?
Yeah, this one came with the
camper.
Camper, yeah.
Want to try it out. So we'll see if the red arc actually puts on a signal. Oh yeah, there's some lights have come on. There we go. Now what is ABC charge profile? We probably need to change that. Okay, so you can see here is a LI profile in the charge profiles. Now You would think that you would just have a button, Red Arc, but Jesus. So apparently we've got to connect some of these wires that come off the loom off the back of this together in order to change it to a lithium profile. I think it was orange and green. I'll have to go and get some crimps and strippers and we'll give that a crack. Alrighty, so I just got a couple of little just basic crimps. I'm just going to pull these wires out, orange and green. See what happens when we put these together, eh? Well, it's not doing anything. Just going to twist them together and then we'll turn it off and on again by unplugging the solar and see what happens.
Yep.
Okay, do you want to plug it back in?
Right. Yep.
Alright, yeah, well that worked.
Huh.
There we go, now we're on that lithium profile. Alright, so that means we've got to sort that out properly. Good as gold. Alright, lithium upgrade complete.
Excellent.
So, if anyone knows what this thunder display thing is, let us know, because I've never seen one of them before and I have no idea what it does and it doesn't seem to come on. So, whatever it's supposed to do, it's not doing. Alrighty, sorry about the scruffy hair and all of that and not seeing you guys for ages, but the Opus is all done. The lithium upgrade is working a treat, so they shouldn't need the power anymore. We had to plug the power in last night because after the Opus had pumped itself up, the 2 AGMs that were in there dropped down to like 10 volts, so it was kind of hopeless. So next thing we're going to do, and for the next video, is well, we're going to go and hook up a electric brake controller and an Anderson plug for the Pajero Sport. So we'll see you on that one next time.
What was it called?
I don't know.